All right, what's going on, everybody? Hello, and welcome back to the Ethan Shapiro YouTube channel. I am feeling extra liberated from my business persona today. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing some Wednesday releases on this channel. I think maybe like one video a week is the idea. So right now we're talking about how to win friends and influence people, episode 3. So without any further ado, let's pick up where we left off. Here's my sheet of paper. Let's get started. We were talking about ways to make people like you, which is important because being liked is fun. So, point number 4, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Cool. So this is the essential skill for making friends is being a good listener. And that doesn't just mean like hearing what they say. It means conceptualizing in your mind what they're saying and being able to even like reciprocate it back to them and be like, oh, but you said you feel this way. Is that actually true? And they'll be like, huh, like Ethan was really listening to what I was saying, a week ago or 10 minutes ago. And you seldom, I wouldn't say you seldom find people in this world who will truly listen to you, but beyond just listening, it's hearing what they say, the word like accepting it, not accepting it, like, what's the word? Like hearing what they say and then like acknowledging it and then encouraging them to keep going and go deeper, because the way that people can kind of grow and learn about themselves is actually by communicating with others. And when you have a friend who will encourage you to talk about yourself and to talk more and more about yourself, they'll actually learn more about themselves, and they'll be very happy with you because they'll think that you're very interested in them. And when you're interested in them, they're going to like you, because that's kind of how we work, guys. Like we're especially in America, we're very individualistic people. We all think about things in terms of the way we see the world. And when you find someone who shows genuine interest in you, listens to what you say, really thinks about it, and then instead of saying bark back saying this is what I do, they actually encourage you to keep going and keep talking about yourself. This will work. Even if you, I know we talked about being genuinely interested in the other person, but even if you're not, even if you like, I suppose you can't pretend. If you want to be friends with someone, you be friends with them, and the way to do that is to encourage them to talk about themselves. And then if they're going to be a good friend, they'll eventually turn it around back on you, so you can talk about yourself. But it's a really good point. That's the cool thing about this book. It's just very simple points that like anyone can kind of adopt, and it can totally change the way your relationships with people work. So number 5, talk in terms of the other person's interests. So I guess that's kind of like speaking their language, right? So if you have a friend who's very interested in, say, NASCAR, I don't know, this just came out of my mind, you can speak in an analogy to NASCAR. Or if you have a friend who's very nature-oriented, you speak in terms of nature. Or someone who's very into TV and cinema, you can be like, oh, when that character did that or did this. Everyone has their own lens, their own way they see the world, right? Everyone has come from a different uprising, comes from a different background, has different DNA and genes and all that stuff. And the way to become friends with someone is to not only try to see the world through their eyes, but try to enhance their way of life. And that's going to be by talking about things that they're interested in. And you just might find that even if you meet someone, you guys are completely different, you have no similarities, if you listen to what they say, encourage them to keep talking, you might find, oh wow, I never knew that people in NASCAR, I have no idea what goes on in NASCAR, people in NASCAR are very philosophical. That would be interesting for me. But yeah. Talking in terms of someone else's interests, again, this is about having people like you. So if you're talking about what they're interested in, they're going to be really happy with you, and you guys are going to have a great conversation. I would caution people not to use these skills to become friends with people just because you think they're cool or they can give you something. You should really be genuinely interested in spending time with this person and having them increase your life, because again, I say life is all about relationships, right? But you don't want to just be friends with someone because you think you have to, right? You want to be friends with someone who you think is going to provide value to you and the world, and you do that by talking about things that they like. I don't know. We're trying this series out. Principles was a lot more open ended, and it was like ideas of how to be successful. But this book is very specifically focused on how to work well with other humans. And I think that's so important. And I think there's nothing more important in life than understanding how people work. So last point for today, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. I think we do have this lack of value in society for others. I think we are very focused every day when we wake up. We try to do what we want. We try to get what we need done. We have all these issues. I need to go to the doctor. I got to take the kids to soccer practice. I got to do this. I got to do that. If you're looking in someone's eyes and you're smiling and you're listening to what they're saying and you're reciprocating it back to them and acknowledging that you've heard what they said, and you continue bringing up things that they're interested in, they're going to feel important. You're giving them all your focus and attention, and especially someone who doesn't get that too often, they're never going to forget. You really making the other person feel important, I think, is as simple as following all these first 5 steps. So yeah, I mean, looking in someone's eyes, smiling, remembering their name, being a good listener, talking about things that they're interested in is going to be a great way to make them feel important. But another way you can do that is by telling them, like, yo, dude, like, you got this. Like, I believe in you. Like, everything you're talking about, all these ideas you have, like, you're going to get there. You're going to figure it out. You're going to make it work. And I'm so about this. And this book is very helpful with that. Oh, and the key at the end of this is do it sincerely. Is not only make them feel important, believe in them. Believe that they're important. Believe that whatever they set their mind to, they can achieve. I think that is so essential, so underrated. I am so frustrated with people not doing this and not encouraging their friends to go out and do amazing things, instead trying to claw them down and pull them down to their level because they're jealous or they're insecure. That's bullshit, yo. We are completely limited by what goes on in here. So if you have a friend who's always encouraging you, getting you to talk about your interests, making you feel happy, making you feel important, encouraging you to talk about yourself so that you can learn more about yourself, that's a good friend. And that's someone who might have read this book or might not, but it doesn't matter, because if someone's doing these things, be it naturally or be it from a book, as long as their intentions are good and their intentions are genuine, I think that's great. So that was ways to make people like you. I don't know how this video series is turning out, but we're going to have new videos every single week anyway, so we'll see how it goes. But again, highly recommend Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we're going to have we'll see what ends up on this channel. We'll see. Hopefully, I'm thinking that Ethan Shapiro podcast is going to be coming out this year. And I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, staying happy, staying positive, and staying frosty. And we will be back next week for episode 4, I believe. Take it easy, y'all.